Hello, everyone. I have a question for you. Now, I would like you to answer this honestly. Have you ever played this game and you've been asking a buddy or someone, like, how bad does this actually get? Maybe if Super Earth told us what it would be like, we would understand a bit what we're getting into, but not a soul really told you that, you're gonna have 40 plus bugs at a minimum trying to swarm you at times in this game. They didn't tell you about all of the chargers you're gonna face, all of the spitters and mortars, everything. And everything is accentuated even further whenever you are playing solo, of course, right? Super Earth didn't tell us this. Nobody told us this. We got to experience this for ourselves. That's part of the beauty, but it's also part of the horror that is in Helldivers 2. I will say, I preferred not being told about this, but when you get ping-ponged around like I have been for the past while now, you start to question a few things. Here, you see me highest difficulty you can get with me and my buddies, and I am just thrown into a pit. This is a heavy nest. 10 bug holes in here. And I just go ahead and start doing my job, but I realize that as soon as you have no ammo, no grenades, you're kind of going to get overwhelmed, so there really is no other way out but through. But see, you can't always get through, so you got to take them all out with you at a time. Now, since nobody told us about any of these things we will be facing as soldiers, it is our duty to face them head on and see just how well we can do against these threats, if you will. But the thing about it is, what happens whenever it's genuinely so unfair that you can't really do much? Well, in my opinion, you roll with the punches. And you learn to deal with these things. You learn to adapt to the environments you are around. And you just learn to kind of just roll with the punches, eat it, and hope for the best the next time you fight that thing, right? You're not always going to have perfect encounters. You're not always going to do it, you know, without getting hurt, without injury, less amount of ammo used, all that. There are going to be times where there's genuinely nothing else that you could do, and you got to learn to live with it. I've learned. That's how this game like flows. Is like you can never expect the same thing to happen twice in a match or a mission, if you will, because of just how many variables I would say that there are. I mean, you could spawn in just like that and die instantly, or you can actually get the job done because they missed one extra spit or something. It's all about finding your flow within the chaos, I've learned. And that really, to me, is part of the fun. Even though you see me getting absolutely smacked around in a lot of these clips, I still genuinely have fun. But I definitely learned fast that I'm not gonna win everything. I can't control the flow of every single battle. And me being there doesn't always, say that I'm gonna win this with the right tools and everything. No, I gotta do it right and proper and make sure that nothing stops me. And that's the thing about all of these bugs and bots. The higher up in the difficulties, the more and more of them you're going to face. Higher and higher quantities, and better ones at that, too. So it's just one of those things where you learn to roll with the punches, I guess. You learn that you can't really get too close to these things. You can't really let them, get you out of cover. I mean, there's a lot of tactics that go into this stuff that you can't always use on the minute by minute, but eventually everything starts to click, and you start doing the right moves in the right scenarios, and that's part of the practice. Like you can only get better at this kind of stuff by practicing. And even whenever a mission starts, like right here in the background, you see me mission start, we're doing a blitz. We aren't even done calling in stuff yet whenever we get swarmed. You have to always be ready for a swarm, some kind of breach, anything. I've learned that. You cannot let your guard down for even a millisecond in this game because they will eat you alive whenever they realize it. And it's not really something you can come back from a lot of the time. They just have the numbers. They have everything that they need. They just need to get to you. They need to swarm you. And this is less true for the bots because they can just shoot. You know, they have grenades, they have mortars, they have the ability to jam stratagems, they have all this crazy stuff. So they don't even need to close the gap like the bugs do. And this comes right back to bringing the right tool for the right job, you know? Like, you don't want to bring the wrong thing for bugs, you don't want to bring the wrong thing for the bots. And even though you have the right tools, it doesn't mean that you're just going to win. It's all about how you play it and what kind of stuff you end up going against. Like, you could get lucky with the bugs and only have armored guys, right? I would consider that lucky personally because armored guys are usually easier to take care of than, you know, 8 to 10 mortars or spitters coming at you at all times, always able to just like insta kill you no matter what. I would rather deal with chargers knocking me all around the place than get spit on even one more time. Jesus, it is insane. But still, even with, you know, bots even, you could get more hulks than anything. You can get a lot of tanks in there too. And the higher up in difficulty you go, the more of these things you're going to see and less of the little guys. So it really does kind of matter, you know, what kind of luck you have too going into the mission because you could get super lucky or you can get not so lucky. But, you know, we digress. We're kind of ranting here a little bit. Eventually, you will start actually seeing success, right? Like, you can't just lose every single thing, especially depending on the difficulty you play on. Like, you play on solo, you don't really need to go too high. There's no reason to. You have a team, by all means, see how far you guys can go and see how crazy it can get. But when it comes to like what difficulty you play on, I always recommend just play on the one you're most comfortable with. Don't, you know, step out of your comfort zone until you feel like you are actually ready, you know? But of course you can't improve unless you finally do that and see how you fare. So it is kind of a fine balance of do I want to try this mission and maybe fail it, or do I want consistency out of the lower levels so that I can get the rewards I need? Some of those things that we all have to think about while we play these, and even as you go up in difficulty, you'll have to think about all these extra layers of enemies, all the objectives, all this kind of stuff. So that's always going to be up to the person to decide on whether or not that's for them or not. But I just wanted to basically let you know that it's not always going to be easy. Sometimes the game is going to be flat out unfair. And you know what? I have a feeling that not a lot of people will like it, but it's kind of okay, you know? Like, you're not meant to win everything, you're not meant to lose everything. Sometimes you're meant to scrape by the skin of your teeth, sometimes not at all. But, you know, it's more about just trying to find the fun within it, you know? That's what it's all about. I'm gonna leave y'all with this clip here. I hope none of this happens to y'all ever. This was brutal for me, but I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. It means a lot to me if you made it this far. Maybe stick around a bit longer, you know, if you like this kind of content. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do in terms of my content, so that's why this video may seem like it's a bit everywhere, but you know, if you enjoyed it, hey, that's cool. Thank you, I appreciate it.